Welcome back. Chapter 3. You've got to eat. It was him, Fate. He was holding a sandwich next to my mouth, and I tried to shove his hand away. Everything hurt. It felt like every nerve I possessed was on fire at the same time. My skin hurt where it touched the bed. I turned, but that just made something else hurt. You're adjusting to not having your human covering anymore. Even the sound of his voice seemed to be louder. All of your senses are overly heightened right now, but this will only last another day or so. I moaned at the thought. Another day? I couldn't take another minute. I feel like I'm dying again. But you're not. I won't let you. He pushed the sandwich to my lips. Eat. I tried to shove the food away, but he grabbed my wrist. The firm contact on my skin made me gasp, but no matter how I pulled back, he wouldn't let go. Eat. I took a bite of the sandwich just to get him to let me go. Please, just leave me alone, I said after I swallowed. I wish I could. He wouldn't leave until I ate and drank some water. Then I passed out again. I awoke in a strange bedroom that I guess was in the condo I initially been given the keys to. Sitting up, I felt surprisingly good, considering what I felt like a day ago. I certainly remember Harold driving us back to the condo. Beyond that point, all my memories was filtered through a lens of agony. I'm not sure how I made it to the bed I was now lying upon. I was in the same clothes I worn when this all began, however long ago that was. I pushed greasy locks of hair from my face as I looked to the bedside table. A sandwich, sitting barely eaten by my bedside, jogged a memory. I'd begrudgingly taken a few bites, and only because of the threat of Fate, the animal that had stayed here with me. Nursemaid he was not. All I remember while I writhed in pain, he screamed for me to toughen up, that I was being weak when I wouldn't eat. He forced it on me. I felt his presence in the room, and I pushed myself up into a sitting position. So, you're up, he said, looking at my disheveled state. His features were hard and angular, nothing you would describe as pretty. But still, if he wasn't such a scary bastard, I would have described him as handsome. Get out. You're welcome. You think I'm going to thank you? Somebody will come by tomorrow to bring you into the office. He strode out of the room, and I heard the condo door shut. So this was to be home for the next month. I looked around the bedroom. Everything was new, from the comforter to the dresser with the large mirror above it. There was an ocean painting hanging on the white walls, as if to clue you in that you were at a beach just in case you somehow forgot. The place looked like a summer rental before it acquired that well-worn look after a few seasons of use and profit. The ceramic tiles were cold under my feet as I crossed to the door, avoiding looking in the mirror, afraid to see the foreign reflection. The rest of the place was quaint, with a small gallery-type kitchen and a breakfast bar that opened to the main living area. All low-end beach motif decor that screamed "Don't forget where you are." Definitely a summer rental. It made sense. There would be fewer long-term residents asking nosy neighbors questions. Glass sliders overlooked a view of the ocean and the people tanning on the sand. They were as blissfully unaware of what might await them as I had been not long ago. I was jealous of them, lying there in the sun, just another day of living. I'd kill for one more day, a chance to say goodbye. People often say a quick death is better. I guess in some ways it is, but it sure didn't feel like it right now. Long deaths have one big benefit. You get to say goodbye. Nobody understands how important that is until there's no time for words. But after everything, life still went on, even if mine technically didn't. I walked back inside, turning away from the sunny beach full of people. I felt too bitter to bear exposure to their happiness. I looked down at the table, the phone Harold gave me lying there dead. How ironic. When I was alive, I couldn't stand to be without my charged cell phone. I walked past without touching it. I couldn't find a reason to plug it in. It would only serve as a reminder of who I couldn't call and what those people might be doing right now, like burying their child. They might be staring at the ground and grieving for a fiance who was still here, but might as well be just as dead as the body in the casket for all it meant to their lives. I pulled out a chair and sat at the whitewashed wood dinette by myself, wondering what in the hell had I agreed to. My new body didn't let me stay in my catatonic state very long. A hungry growl erupted from my midsection that made me realize I might not be exactly human, but I seem to have a lot of mortal needs. And I had to pee. That shouldn't be a big deal, but it was. I didn't know if I could go into the bathroom and not look at myself, but this body wasn't giving me any other option. The need overcame my hesitancy and made it easy to make it into the bathroom without looking. Making it out was the problem. Who knew good hygiene would prove to be my downfall? If I could have just not looked up when I was washing my hands. I let out a small sound when I saw the image. It was me. I knew this face, this body, that there would be a mole on my left knee if I looked, but this wasn't the body that I just left dead and mangled. It wasn't the face of my parents' daughter or the image of Charlie's fiance. Staring with gray eyes that were easily similar to ones I had before my death, I raised a hand to my almost black hair, so different than the blonde I'd been. I touched my cheeks, watched my actions mirrored. I was prettier than I had been in life. My eyes were a little bigger. I ran a finger across my full lower lips. A knock on the door jolted me from my intense fascination with my new image. Harold walked in before I could get there. I thought you weren't coming until tomorrow. I wouldn't have if you'd answered your phone. We both stared at the dead phone sitting on the table. It's dead. I know. Dead, 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 just like me. I couldn't seem to get past that word. Please keep it charged from now on. If it were only so easy to fix my own dead state. Why do I recognize myself when I don't look like I used to? He was already looking down at the papers he was holding in his hand. Harold. He looked up as if not understanding the question, and then the details seemed to click into place for him. Oh, that. I always forget transfers don't remember. He scribbled on a paper a moment before he finally continued. He swirled a finger, encompassing me. This is how you really look, and will look in your true form for all eternity. If you go to heaven, hell, purgatory, or whatever is beyond, this is your form. That body in the ravine was just a shell and loosely formed portrait. When your essence is squeezed into a mortal mold, it never matches up the same. I toyed with a lock of my hair, still adjusting to the different texture. So, I've always looked like this on some level? I guess I figured you would give me a new body or something. Well, that's silly. You think we have stray bodies just lying around? I guess. He actually rolled his eyes at me before he tucked his papers into the case he was holding. Do you have everything you need? I shrugged, having no idea exactly what I Should need. Not sure. There's food in the fridge, and my number is on the phone. If you ever get around to charging it, I'll be back tomorrow morning for you. And that's the end of chapter 3. See you in the next chapter.